first one we have is the video published by security. In the video, an object was captured by a NASA spacecraft. This object was previously undetected by satellite, but in this video, it was clearly present as a giant cosmic body. The celestial object looks somewhat like a brown dwarf planet. It is surrounded by a trail of dust and cosmic debris and what seems to be numerous asteroids orbiting it. Now this would make perfect sense if this was Planet X or Nibiru, because if you remember, I once talked to you guys about the insights from a Hubble insider who said he observed a system of planets heading toward Earth right before the Hubble mission was cut off. Anyway, the system was moving in an elliptical orbit, and it will become more and more visible. Another point, we will be able to observe it with our naked eyes as it approaches the Earth. Without any further delay, ladies and gentlemen, this was the footage. Well, in fact, I cut out the part of the videos from the security. Okay, so here's a recap. Something very interesting, very unique, was captured by the Corona 2A instrument, a dark and large object, or system of objects. This circular thing was caught right in the vicinity to the Sun. You can also see the Sun bursting out plasma. These bursts of plasma are called CME, and there's nothing really special about it. But what is special, I repeat, is a system of objects seen near it. Now this is nowhere near the first time we captured something big in the vicinity of the Sun that seems to be heading our way. But if you are a follower of the series, you already know that in 1983, NASA discovered this Planet X with its infrared satellite, but then rejected it after 1 week when President Reagan made it a part of the national security mandate. And earlier in 2016, NASA once again announced the mathematical evidence of Planet X, about 10 times as big as the Earth, looking beyond Pluto. Anyway, this is just another of the footage to reassure you that Nibiru is out there, and it represents an imminent threat. I don't know when, but it is definitely real, and I'm just afraid we won't know it before it's here and everything is too late. Now here are some more interesting footage. These are all amateurs and a bit coincidental captures of images and video that are flooding all over the social media channels. They also something lurking near or behind our Sun. According to me and our team, here these are very unlikely to be internet hoaxes or trolls or lens anomalies or Photoshop. What you can see here is a blue star Kachina. It is widely known as the precursor of what to come or Judgment Day, and as we know it this day, it's brought about by Planet X and it's increased the Earth's wobble by its gravitational forces, which in turn will lead to extreme climate and seismic activities, annihilating life on Earth. This was accidentally captured during a sunset in Uranus. At first, the people who got the star thought it was a lens flare or something on the lens, so they cleaned the lens, but they still got the object moving across the sky. Next one here is in Venice, Italy, where two suns were seen in the sky in the 29th of January 2016 at 14:30. Mind you, this is not the first time two suns were captured. They have appeared around the world and been on an increase in the recent years. People in Canada have seen this. People in the United States have seen this. People in New Zealand, which is literally on the other side of the Earth, have also seen this. Here's another one captured in the south of Mexico on the 19th of March 2016, which is only 2 months after the previous footage. The video is in time-lapse. The bright red second sun we see in the skies is very likely to be the system of Nibiru or Planet X, or whatever you want to call it. Recall the insight from the Hubble Insider? The system centers is an object, suns or planet, as massive as 3 to 5 Jupiter, and it is composed of cesium iron, oxidized iron, oxygen, and ozone. These iron-based components make perfect sense because iron is what gives these things that red color. Now here's something professionally captured. Sadly, we don't have this original file, just the videos of the video. Anyway, this was taken from the Moonglow observatories in Warrensburg on the 1st of April 2016, in which you can clearly see the system of Planet X, glowing brighter and redder than the rest of the top of the screen. The visibility is astounding, and we can't deny that it is getting closer and closer. On the same day, US citizens could see 2 suns in the sky. This is definitely not a lens flare, because you can see the second sun was later gradually blocked by a cloud passing by. Three-day lasers in Adelaide, Australia. Someone named Nathan Smith captures these pictures of something coming. Again, a red, circular object in the sky, and this time, we could even see what seems to be its fields of previous and stuff. As usual, before going to the footage, I'll go briefly to what Planet X, or also known as Nibiru, is, for the sake of people who are new to the field. This is the 10th planet in the solar system, and the consensus by many is that it will periodically crosses by the Earth, bringing with it Judgment Day, as it causes extreme apocalyptic seismic and climate activities. However, the power that be, as well as agencies like NASA, are trying their best to hide the truth and mislead the public in order to protect their agenda and avoid a social and economic meltdown. Recently, NASA's SOHO Imaginary, the International Space Stations, as well as the numerous Station 3s in Antarctica, have captured the planet on a trajectory toward the Earth. As it becomes closer and more visible, even webcam and amateur people from around the globe can capture it. This thing is flooding all over the internet, with string lights from above, enormous fireballs, and eerie sonic boom that seems to be the precursors to the end of the world. Okay, so this is the first footage I want to show you guys today. I talked about it earlier. It was captured by NASA's SOHO, and you can see clearly in it an object that is very much like a planet in the vicinities of the Sun. Here's something captured from the International Space Station. You can clearly see the blue star-winged globe that's clearly visible. And here's from numerous trees in Antarctica. You can clearly see the sun shining really brightly in the top left corner. But if you look to the right, you can see another source of light. Something is here laminating red light, and it could very well be Planet X, because what we know from a Hubble insider is that the planet is made from iron oxide. And what colors is iron oxide? Yes, it's red. This footage was taken on the 2nd of February 2016, by the way. A bit further back into the past, on the 3rd of January 2016, plasma images captured in Brazil once again captures a planetary object illuminating red light in the vicinities of the Sun. Take a look at it yourself. On the same day, the object can also be clearly seen from West Australia. That's not all of it. In the same location, only 2 weeks earlier, not only Nibiru, but the whole system of it was captured from the Cadiz Observatory. The exact date was February 17th of 2015. Europe has also seen the phenomenon more than once. On February 8th of 2016, the complex can be seen visibly from the Unterrammergard in Germany. Here's the 2 moon scenes in Connecticut on the 2nd of February 2016. Flash forward to the 6th of February, and we have 2 suns setting in the Russian sky. Visual is not the only sign we are getting from the heaven above of an upcoming planetary crossings or even collision. There are sounds, weird, unexplainable sounds all over the place. People in the countries of Mercers have experienced loud bangs a lot of times during the late 2015. Here's a local news report from back then. As you can see in the news report, the noise could have been earthquakes, but the news admitted themselves. Multiple earthquakes in one place like that is very unusual. It could only mean one thing. Something weird is going on, and is causing anomalies in the seismic activities of the Earth. These anomalies are definitely not a natural cycle. Also remember Kilauea volcano in Hawaii? It has been erupting for almost 3 months now, and there have been times when more than 3,000 earthquakes were recorded in the vicinity within the span of only 1 day. 3,000 earthquakes in 1 day. I dare you to say that this is a normal natural phenomenon of a planet that has already far past its forming point. Something weird is going on, and is affecting the tectonic plate, and we should take this as a warning, and know the meaning is as natural, and it means people who are worried as crackpot and internet hoaxes. If you're still in denial, watch this video. These weird sounds were captured from Edmonton, Canada, around the same time as the weird sounds in Moyle and Mercer. Now listen to the same thing recorded from a different area. Now the same sound, same periods of time, but in Denver, Colorado. There's also a news report about it. Mind you, that Denver is a place where rumor have it that the US has built a whole underground city that can hold up to 100,000 people under the airport. And no, this is not to solve the overpopulation or World War III, because the US is not that overpopulated yet, and the cities is at a depth much greater than necessary to avoid a nuclear holocaust. Back to Canada in the early 2016. North America is not the only place with this sound. Here's from Singapore on the 15th of January 2016. 3 weeks later, and we have this recorded from Paris. These trumpet sounds were on many news outlets. What are they? I have no idea. Nobody does. But the fact that they are all around the same time, all over the world, at the same periods of Planet X being captured, means that they must be related to the Nibiru catalysm. Maybe it's a strange magnetic phenomenon that happens when 2 planets approaches, and humans don't understand it yet. Or it might have been alien intelligence trying to give us a warning. Maybe all the UFOs are here not for fun or enslavement of mankind, but for warning us. After all, the Sumerians and key people talking of Planet X have all mentioned the appearance of extraterrestrial life forms associated with the event. Other than these, there have been winged global sightings, as well as crosses in the sky from all over the world. Michigan, Hawaii, Finland, everywhere. How do you explain these phenomena? I don't think there are any rational explanations other than something big is coming, and it's going to be here really fast. If not, why would the authorities be so sensitive about it? Not to mention all the underground facilities they are secretly preparing. There can't be any better reason than the end of the world. This planet is called Planet X, Nibiru, Wormwood, or many different names across times and countries. But the one thing in common is that it periodically travels to our solar system, during which time it will crosses with the Earth, and this will be the judgment day for you and me, but probably not for the elites. Of course, big governments and agencies are very well aware of this. In 1983, NASA made headlines on the Washington Post and the New York Times when it announced that the IRAS infrared satellites have discovered Planet X lurking somewhere beyond Pluto. The strange thing is, 1 week later, NASA retracted all the announcement, and President Reagan made this part of the US national security mandate, and forbid any institutions or agency to address this in public. The stranger thing is, since then, it is rumored that the US have been building secret underground shelters. Of course, they would not let the public know of the incoming catalysm, because how can you control a crowd when the crowds know that they are coming to an inevitable doom? They of course keep us in the dark about the positions of the shelters and keep it to themselves. It is even leaked that there is an underground rail system linking their capital to an underground shelter under Denver Airport. You can do research about this yourself if you don't believe, but I have to warn you, there will be a lot of version and distortion because, of course, they are supposed to be classified information. Russia and China are also rumored to have been building shelters and cities in preparation for a war-ending event. Now you might be thinking, if a whole planet is heading towards Earth, how is it possible that nothing strange is happening? Well, that's because the authorities are hiding everything from us. One thing we can all notice is the extreme climate event and ice cap melting that have been attributed to global warming. The second thing is the unusual and dramatic increase in earthquakes and seismic activities all around the world. We are of course told that they do not increase, but it is because the United States Geological Societies lower the magnitude scale by 1 and successfully underreport the number of unusually large earthquakes. Volcanic eruptions have been on the rise as well. You can check out other videos on our channel that we talk about the eruption in Hawaii, which dragged on for over 3 months. Last but not least, this is not very commonly known, but many governments have been spraying substances into the atmosphere. I'm not sure what these substances are, but what I know is that these things create a cover of clouds and mist lookalike. Their purpose, however, is quite clear. They are trying to hide something in the sky from the rest of the world. Now you have probably heard of the two suns phenomenon, and let me tell you, that is what they are trying to hide. The two suns phenomenon is not an optical illusion, but the second sun that we see is in fact the system of Planet X. From what we know, the center is either a miniature star or a comet planet, as the famous Chilean astrophysicist Carlos Mundo Ferrada called it. The thing is said to be composed of a lot of iron oxide, and therefore it looks red. And so, as the system approaches, it would resemble a second sun in the sky. Now speaking of Carlos Mundo Ferrada, he is very well known for having calculated correctly many natural events on Earth and in space. For example, in January 19th of 1939, he forecasted that there would be a disastrous earthquake in Chile on the 24th of January of that same year, and guess what happened? It did happen. A huge earthquake shook Chile for 18 seconds, killing 40,000 people. He successfully calculated many other terrestrial extreme events, but that's not all. He even forecasted correctly that Halley Comet's orbit would alter and it would spend more time closer to the Sun in 1996. What's more terrifying is that he said Nibiru is real. He called it Hercules, and he said it was coming. He first mentioned it in the 1940s, 4 decades before NASA's first ever announcement. Now you can watch this very interesting footage, which was an interview with him in his last years. So to sum up the main point, Planet X is, according to Ferrada, a comet planet, so-called because it had the mass of a planet but an orbit like a comet. The thing does not meet the celestial law that is known to man, and it will cross by the Earth so close that the naked eyes can see it. Mr. Ferrada also calculated 3 major earthquake points when Hercules arrived, which are the northern area of the Mediterranean, the southern area of the Pacific, and Java, Sumatra. You might be wondering, why would a crossing comet planet cause terrestrial seismic disaster? Well, it's simple astronomy. The system of Planet X has gravity. That's basic physics. And its gravity is more powerful than that of the Earth. As it approaches, and it is approaching, this causes the Earth's lighter outer core to stall and alter its flow, thus disrupting the normal patterns of the Earth's magnetic activities. This, together with the direct effects from gravity, increase the Earth's wobble, which is, for your information, the tilt in the Earth's rotating axis. What does this do, you say? anomalies and stress in the tectonic plates, resulting in massive earthquakes which will soon become the new norm. And what follow earthquakes? Tsunamis, volcanic eruptions, and mass extinction. Yes, in case you don't know, a major volcanic eruption can throw into the atmosphere more pollutants than humans have ever done. A volcanic eruption caused one out of the 6 mass extinction events, and another one brought the human population down to 26,000. Volcanoes are no joke, folk, and that's not the end. As the system of Nibiru arrives, its debris and asteroids will also enter the Earth's gravitational fields, and the Earth, already devastated by the earthquakes and volcanoes, will have to suffer a comet rain. A reminder for you, asteroid impact killed off all the known avian dinosaurs. So it is legit to fear this happening, because it will trigger a series of mass extinction causing events that spells out doom. Another warning, quite a subtle one, that we received recently is from an English physicist named Brian Cox. Mr. Cox teaches physics and astronomy at the University of Manchester. A bit of background information. Mr. Cox is publicly known as the denier of Planet X. He has publicly ridiculed the theory, yet we need to be mindful here because the official scientists and institutions depends on the governments for their livelihood. Not to mention addressing Nibiru directly is forbidden because of national security. Therefore, it is very likely that all the deniers that we see are forced on them by the power that be. Why am I saying this in the case of Cox? Well, he was featured in a BBC documentary in which he explained how the asteroid brought water to the Earth and caused the non-avian dinosaur to go extinct. Then, as the end of the video approaches, the camera, which was pointing outside on a window on a train, panned towards the sky and revealed 2 suns behind the tree line. 2 suns behind the tree line, so they are definitely not lens flare, nor they can be photoshopped, because why would you spend that much time and effort making a video of 2 suns when you are a public denier of the phenomenon? And that is strange because BBC and Cox himself let that scene pass by the editing and be published. We all know the second sun is the approaching Nibiru, and so this act must be a subtle hint to warn the public that Planet X is actually real. It is not an internet hoax as the scientists are forced to accuse it of being one.